All right, we're live. I'm here with my gWo teammate, Morgan Irons. Iron Maiden 97 on Instagram for those of you who don't follow, shoot her a follow. Quick intro. And this episode, Morgan, I got to know you at the Arnold this year. We were together for like the weekend competing. We're going to talk about that. You've been on the team for a few months now, I think 6 months, seven, whatever. I don't know
Mhm.
your history that well. So what I don't do with a lot of athletes is talk about like how they came up. But we're going to do that with you real quick to get to know you because I want to get to know you,
Okay.
and then we'll just talk about
Awesome.
a bunch of random shit. Morgan is the
Sounds good.
I got some notes. 2024
Okay.
SC Nats champion, right? Awesome.
Yes, sir.
2025 Arnold Pro Am second place. We talked about that at the Arnold this year, and fourth at
Yeah.
North America's Strongest Woman. When was that? Was that 2024, 25?
2024. Yep. That was the first year they had the strong woman competition up in Canada.
All right, awesome, awesome stuff. So Morgan Irons, everybody. Morgan, how did you get started in strongman? How old are you? Don't mind me asking.
I'm 28. I will be 29 in June.
Okay, wow.
So yeah, I'm young still. I've got quite a few years ahead of me as long as I play it smart. And recovery is key and all that good stuff. But
Of course.
um, I guess we'll start back 2015. I got into the gym my senior year of high school, actually. I guess before that, what happened was I sadly experienced a sexual assault, and 2015, a couple years later, I needed an outlet, and my school was a small school in a rural area, and we got a brand new weight room. And so they offered strength and conditioning classes. So I got in the gym, started there. Fast forward, I did a couple powerlifting meets. Fast forward a little more, had some kids. Fast forward some more. 2021, I started dating my now husband, Tim, and he owns a gym up in Dubuque, Iowa. And I jumped into my first meet the night before with no event training and just said, screw it, let's have some fun. And I got the bug.
Yeah, and that was strongman meet, right? You did you do powerlifting at all?
Yes. Yeah,
Awesome.
I did. I did powerlifting between like 2015 and 2017, and then got back into it again in 2021 again. I just kind of took a few years off with having kids. I had my son in 2018 and my daughter in 2021, early spring.
Yep. And so 2018, you're 29. That was you're 22 about. So 2015,
Yep.
when you were 15, you were in high school, right? You said
Yeah.
like when you
In
when you started
2015, yeah.
playing
So I would have been
sports.
high school.
Yeah. I don't want to
Yep.
glaze over. I know you told me ahead of time that part of your history was an assault, and I'm very sorry that you had to go through that. Um,
Mhm.
I'm not really going to ask many questions, but I'm very sorry you had to go through that. I didn't want to glaze over it. You mentioned it,
Yeah.
and it deserves to be
Hmm.
spoken. I'm sorry you had to go through that. Hopefully, whatever mental side came with that, training, strongman, lifting, anything is a good outlet um,
Oh
for that.
yeah, for
So
sure.
hopefully this sport
I
is
always say
more to you than just like trying to win shows, you know?
no. Yeah, no. I lifting iron is therapy for me for sure, and it gave me back the strength that was taken from me. Is how I like to explain it to people.
Yeah. I know is like metal music therapy for you? Because I watched those squats you did last night. That was some dark music. My nephew's into that shit.
Yeah.
Like I like it, but like I like to have a little melody in my metal, you know what I mean? Like Metallica and stuff. You know, that
For
was
me, the heavier the better.
yeah, so
I
you
like it
probably
dark.
you probably like all like the oh geez, who is that? I'm drawing a blank that they do Bill on Pig Squeal. Oh god, I'm drawing a blank, but like Armand Armeth and you probably like all
Hmm.
that stuff. Like my nephew's into some dark shit. I don't know
Parkway
what that is.
Drive.
Oh, I
No,
love Parkway Drive. See, Parkway Drive. Here we go to metal. This is a metal podcast
that's
now.
a little better.
I love
Yeah.
Parkway. I saw Parkway
Yeah.
live during COVID. They were supposed to come, got canceled. It was like 2.5 years. They finally came. It was one of the best shows I've ever seen in a
Hmm.
small little parking lot. Awesome. And they
They're
have
sick.
yeah, and you can understand what he's saying, and it's got some melody, but it's heavy,
Yeah.
hard, fast. Anything too
Yep.
much darker than that, and I'm like, it's just noise. But
I
I
liked I saw them back in 2016, I think, and I saw them as well with Thy Art Is Murder. They're a little
yep,
heavier,
I've
and
heard of them.
it's actually funny. The friend I was with at the time, he goes, "I don't think you're gonna like this one," and it ended up being the one I liked the most was Thy Art Is Murder.
Yeah. It's funny because
Yeah.
Parkway, like over in Europe, they're huge. They play like the massive festivals, and here it's like a 5,000 person parking lot. But what's cool for me is I
I
found
know,
them
or a
right
bar.
around, like right before COVID, right around COVID time. So like they
Mm,
already had their whole catalog built out. So I'm like, dude, how did I never hear of these guys? They got like hit after hit after hit. Um, I finally
they
thought,
really do. I hear them a lot.
yeah, I like that. I finally thought of the band Lorna Shore. My nephew was like big into Lorna Shore. I'm like, oh, this is actually pretty good, right? I don't know if you ever heard
Oh,
of them.
okay.
But then it
Yep.
went from like melodic death metal with like symphony, and then all of a sudden it goes into pig
Hmm.
squeal, and I'm like, lost me. You lost me. I did hit a
And
325
I'm
stone
out.
to shoulder. I hit a 325 stone to shoulder to one of their songs, though. That was pretty cool. All right.
Nice.
So you've had some great success. How many shows how many shows did you do, or how long were you doing strongman? Because I might have lapsed there before you won Nats in 2024.
Mhm. So I started in 2021 towards like I think it was July, and I did that show, and then Static Monsters, the log and deadlift competition. I did that in October of that year, and then I actually did a pro show just that next January in 2022. I only did it because they needed 6 women, and it's hard to find women that'll, compete at a pro show.
Oh yeah.
And it was a local show for me. And so they had 5, they needed 6. And so I just jumped in as kind of like, you know, the extra person
And you weren't a pro
for the
at the time, right?
sacrifice.
Yeah,
No, no, no,
right.
no.
Well,
And
yeah,
I was still
yeah, but
very,
I'm
I
sure
was
you did
so
well.
new.
Yeah.
I did okay. I actually ended up falling over on log, like really bad, hitting my head and everything on the very first event, but I finished the whole show, so
That,
I
that
was
might have
happy
been
with it.
that might have been one. I think you posted like a fail reel not too long ago. That might have been I might have saw that one. Um,
Yep, that was at Bricktown 2022, and then the following January I came back, so I took dead last that day, but I didn't zero anything. Came back in 2023 and won the show, so that was pretty cool.
oh hell yeah, hell yeah. And
Hell
you got
yeah.
your pro card when you won nationals, I assume.
Yes, because the pro show that I did, Bricktown, the one I'm talking about, that's through USS, so a little different.
Yep.
But that's where I got started. I didn't do my first Strongman Corp show until 2024. I qualified for Nats at a show in Minnesota in February, I want to say, of 24. And then the summer, so the year of 2023 and 2024, I did about 10 to 13 shows each year.
Oof.
um,
Well,
yeah, and some were powerlifting, some were strongman, but one of my favorite like little I call it like strongman tours, I guess, was in 2023. I went to London and won Static Monsters Worlds, and then turned around, came home on Monday morning, weighed in Tuesday at 260, and I was supposed to compete at 242 on Saturday. So I had Brandon Burley help me, and I made 242 by Saturday
no shit.
and did a powerlifting meet, hit all PRs, and then the following week went and competed at the Shaw Classic.
Wow. Did the powerlifting
Yeah,
meet, was it same day weigh-ins? Is that why you had to weigh in on Saturday?
no, no,
Oh, all
no.
right.
Sorry. I weighed in. Maybe it was Friday. No, I weighed in Saturday and competed Sunday. Sunday.
Okay, yeah. I was just wondering because like to
Yeah.
cut that much weight, it's not unheard of, right? Like it sucks, but I've done it. I went on an
Yeah.
anniversary date with my wife and I weighed 242 on Monday when I got back and I made 220 by Friday. But you have 24 hours to like eat and drink.
Damn.
If you did
Yeah.
that and competed, because
Yes.
USAPL, you have a 2 hour weigh-in. You weigh in, you compete. That would
Yeah.
be crazy. Like to
No.
cut that kind of weight and
No,
compete.
I did it. No
All right.
way. No way.
No
I couldn't
stranger to
handle that, especially
competition
because I didn't.
and
No.
yeah. Um, That's awesome. Um, you are, if I'm not mistaken, I think you're mostly known for your pressing power, right?
Yeah, that's my bread and butter. That's the one I really love. And it's kind of funny because when I started strength sports, I hated pressing. Like you would be lucky to see me bench press once every other week. I hated it. I was a squats and deadlift kind of girl all day, and now I've completely swapped.
No shit. Yeah, and it's funny because
Yeah.
like you posted that squat video yesterday, and you corrected me. It was 415. Excuse me. I didn't know the bar, or
Yes,
maybe
it
you had
was.
fives on the side. But I counted 4 plates, and I was like, damn. And I'm expecting
Yep.
like a single, and then they think you did 6 reps. I'm like, another lady in the gWo got me on a lift because like I've done it in the past, but I couldn't. I would be very hard pressed to squat 415 for 6 right now. Very impressive.
Hmm.
So, press
Thank
specialist,
you.
but also very good at squatting. It's a recurring theme because Nez got
Yeah.
powerful legs and a powerful press. You have powerful legs, powerful press. What's your favorite overhead? Is it like
Yeah.
logs, like a dumbbell? What is it?
Axle. It has to be axle.
Axle?
I broke the axle world record last so 2025 April. So had the Arnold in March of 2025, got second place, came home, and then just 3 weeks later, I broke the world record for axle press.
Oh shit. For open women?
For overall. But I open, yes, but overall too.
Oh, or yeah, which you would think. I mean, I highly doubt there's an
Yeah.
82 that can outpress an open woman.
Yeah.
Like unlike John Hack in powerlifting, who could
No.
outlift people bigger than him because then he owns all the records, right? That's awesome. What was
Don't
the
get
what was
me
the weight again?
wrong. There's some 82s. The weight I did 296, I think it was. It was like 135, 136 kilos, I want to
I
say.
think I think I've seen
Yeah.
that video. It's funny because
Yeah,
like people join the team and there's been an influx of people to the team, right? And I follow the
for
journeys, I
sure.
follow everybody, but like it's weird. Like sometimes you'll maybe like be interested in somebody and you'll scroll back, but it's like a weird thing to scroll back
Hmm.
to somebody's Instagram. Then you worry like, oh, I hope I don't like double tap the like and they're gonna think I'm a creep who like liked something from like 3 years ago. But that's why do we
A
leave
deep
all those
dive.
videos? You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
if you want to get to know somebody, you scroll back and see what they've done in their history. And
Hell yeah.
I followed everything that you posted since, but I haven't really looked back because, like, case in point, you
Mm.
said a few weeks ago, "Oh, can we have a steeplechase in an event soon?" Right? And I was like, "Do regionals with me. There's a steeplechase, and like, let's go back to the
Love
Arnold." And
it.
you were like, "I'm already a pro, dude." And I was like, "Oh fuck!" Like I didn't even realize. Like I should have known. I just thought you qualified for the Arnold because I didn't know you well
No,
enough.
you're good.
Yeah, but now we're getting to know each other, which is great. Yeah,
I'd
we
love to do nationals again, but I can't.
Yeah, right. There's not like they don't have any other weight classes, right? So, yep,
No,
unfortunately. Like
unless I were
maybe
to
if you
drop a lot of weight and do the 82s.
would they I wonder if they would let you do that because you wanted a higher one. That would be weird. I don't know if anybody's ever done
I
that.
know. I don't think so. The only time I've ever seen anyone jump is obviously up. So
Yeah.
64 to 73s or whatever it is. And then 73s to 82s. Like I've never seen an open really go down. I'm curious. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know.
like OSG, we've seen some women go up and then go back down, but
Yep,
that's OSG. There's no like rules on going up or down. But pro cards there is,
exactly.
which makes sense. I mean, it's amateur nationals for a reason. Once you win, you probably shouldn't go back. It's like
Should
people
move
who
on.
have won
Yeah.
shows doing novice. It's like, what are you doing? Or even
Yeah.
in this sport, if you've got a 500-ish pound deadlift, usually people will shame you, or a 200 something pound overhead, people will shame you for doing novice. Because my first
Oh
show,
yeah.
I did novice because I didn't want to cut weight. I was a
Hmm.
true novice. I never did strongman, but they were giving me some shit. But they also said, well, he's never done strongman, so I did
That's
it
to be
once.
fair.
I was a one and done. But
Yep. I
um,
did a novice show one time too. Don't worry. It's okay.
hey, it's there for a reason. There's and maybe I know
Exactly.
like I've seen some shows. I want to say maybe my buddy Dan Eager up at Syracuse at Salt City, because I saw some people talk about it. I think Josh Hendrickson talked about it. I don't know if you know who he is. He promotes up in PA
Hmm.
for
Yep.
SC. Like sometimes you should have like a true novice where like you're literally like your first time like trying the sport, and then an intermediate novice and then open, right? And then sometimes you have pro because
Yeah.
like sometimes the novice weights are maybe too much and people are intimidated to try the sport and they won't try it because they don't want a zero, right? Because a lot of people will back out from shows because they don't want a zero, which
Exactly.
I get it, but the warrior and us, we've been doing this for years. We say that's a loser mentality, but for people to put
For
themselves out
sure.
there and jump into a show,
It's hard.
they probably want to succeed, right? And you know,
Oh yeah.
yeah, like at least
No
in
one wants to
powerlifting,
go and look foolish. No one.
yeah, and no, we're going to get into this, right? Some like negativity and hate
Hmm.
with about certain things. I guess we can get started now because first we'll talk about what the subject. Like, say you go to a local show and there's a person. It could be a 50-year-old grandpa who wants to try it for the first time, or a young man, young female. And if they're struggling to clean an axle, if anybody's laughing and making fun of them if they fall or something, that's just an asshole, right? Like you don't belong in the sport. Like you get lost, right?
No.
But that stuff happens, right? It's unfortunate.
And
That's a
I
reflection on those
almost
people.
I'd almost say those people that do make fun of those people, they won't last very long in the sport. I think we do a pretty good job of weeding out the bad apples, or they get bored, or whatever it may be, and they don't stick around very long. Bye.
Yeah, and what's funny is the sport is full of a lot of really good people. Occasionally you get some bad apples, right? People
Mm,
just like in life, if there's a million people in the world, there's going to be a few thousand criminals. There's going to be some people that, unfortunately,
absolutely
with what you went through, are the perpetrators, and those people deserve the strictest punishment there is, in my opinion. I've worked in correctional
correct.
facilities with perpetrators like that, if I'm using the right word, trying to be politically correct here, and I don't like it. I've
I
worked.
get it.
This is a weird one. I'm off topic, but I've worked in a prison today, and I've worked in prisons where there's people who have murdered people, but then I work in another prison where it's much lower security and it's people who are pedophiles, right? And like,
Mm,
I hope I don't get in trouble with my job for this, but I don't want to be near them, right? Like, dude,
no,
get away from me. But I have to do my job, right? But I'd
I
rather be
know.
in there with the murderers and like, I don't know. I
So would
digress.
I.
Yeah.
My ex is a correctional officer as well, and he says like a lot of times at their facility they're at, they don't want to know what they're in there for because of that very reason. Because, if they'll get in trouble if they don't give everyone the same level of care, or at least a minimum level of care. And so,
Yeah.
a lot of them, they don't want to know if they're predators because they'd have a hard time treating them with any
Yeah, yeah.
decency.
It's human nature to not think of
Yeah,
somebody differently. Um, so yeah, it's
after
just
you
human
know,
nature. Yep. But
absolutely.
with strongman though, like same thing. Like with any demographic, right? You could be a bunch of people, a million people in the world. There's going to be people who are in the prison system. Strongman, there could be 10,000 strongman competitors in the world, and there's a few right now, without saying names, that are in some hot water. Everybody knows. We try not to post and just let the judicial system do its thing, right? Innocent until proven guilty,
Yep.
hopefully, kind of thing. And I'm not talking about any specific,
Hmm.
but there's bad eggs everywhere. But I do think that Strongman does a
I
good
know.
job weeding out the bad eggs. It's a very supportive community. And usually, like, people will go on people's stories and watch, and they'll shame the guys who are being assholes. I got a funny one. I don't follow this guy, but I saw some stories. It was Meg Davis, who I interviewed, right? She's like on top of the
Okay.
world right now, married to Tyler Davis, won a bunch of stuff at
Oh yeah,
U73. And this guy was
I
like
know those
talking
two.
shit about her. Chase McGee, I think, right? No shade, right? Because
Hmm.
I'm like, what? I'm like, dude, is this guy being serious? I'm like, is he trolling? I'm like, Meg's super nice, and Meg told me the story from OSG, and I'm like, what's this guy's problem? And I was about to go in, and like, I don't
Hmm.
know Meg well. I've met her a few times, but I'm like, you know what? I talked to Meg about this and about bullying, and I said, you know what? I'm not going to stand for this, and I'm about to type some comments to this dude, and I'm like, let me check with Meg. He might be trolling. And I said, hey Meg, is this for real or whatever? She goes, oh no, it's just a joke. It's totally cool. We're cool. I'm like, oh,
Ah,
all right, because I couldn't tell, but I was ready to come to her defense. You know what I mean? Um,
yeah, for
there's other
sure.
people out there like me who have no problem jumping in the comments. I don't want to get into too much negative, right? You can if you want, but like I'm in a group chat with you and you're very passionate and you stick up for what you believe is right. It's admirable.
I
I
do.
I sometimes with this platform, I want to try my best not to pick a side. I've drawn lines in the sand, and then I if I truly believe in it, I'll do it. But then other times it's like, is it really worth it? Because I get heat from both sides, and it's like, oh, like
Hmm.
I get support from one side, heat from another, and I'm like, was this really worth it to take a stand? I should have just kept my mouth shut. Like politics, I don't often say
Yeah,
who I voted for or which way I lean. I just keep my mouth shut, let other people do their thing. Because if you just open your mouth,
yeah.
everyone's be like, "Oh, I can't believe you. I don't like you anymore." And it's like not worth it sometimes.
Well, with politics too, when you start talking politics to some people, it's not going to change their view. It's not going to change your view. You have your views. Sitting there and debating it. I mean, if you're really open to like a true debate, that's great. But most of the time, it's just people arguing with each other, and no one's going to listen. And so it's not even worth it. But there are
Yeah.
certain topics that I'm very passionate about, and I will continue to keep talking about them.
Oh,
So,
of course.
so hopefully those people are prepared for that.
You might touch on them right here, and you're more than welcome. Maybe I'll engage. Maybe I'll be like, ooh, I don't know. But so one thing that we were overdue to talk about because I was going to bring you on. I was going to bring you on before I think Arnold prep. I got a little lazy, and then I was going to bring you guys all the team on like right before the Arnold. I got lazy, but we were going to talk about war paint. You posted some stuff where I mean, first of all, I think you had an injury, collarbone injury. Hay bale fell on you. 6 weeks out from the
Mhm.
Arnold, 8 weeks out. You want to talk about that real
Yeah,
quick?
yeah, yeah. I think it was sometime in January, I want to say. I'm kind of drawing a blank right now, but yeah, I think it was sometime in January. I was at work and I was on one of those little ride-on skid steers instead of our normal skid steer that has a cab that you can sit in and is covered. That one was broken down, but I was on the ride-on skid steer and I was trying to get under a bale of hay. Not There's no forks on it. It was just a bucket. So another not good idea. And I was trying to get my bucket underneath it. I got it on the bucket and then I started to go in reverse and it just toppled down on me and crushed my whole right side. It was bad.
Yeah, those things there. Hay, you think it's soft, you're gonna go jump in some hay. When they're baled up, was it one of those round bales too, or was it square?
No, it's a big square. So
Okay.
there's like obviously little squares that not that little, but there's smaller squares that are about 50 to 90 to 100 pounds. So you could pick those
Yep.
up easily with two hands. Yeah, not very big. This is a big square that weighs my boss said anywhere between 1,000 and 1,200 pounds.
Oh, damn. I was gonna say because it fell on you.
Yeah,
You just like overhead pressed it right off you, right? The adrenaline.
I wish I like
Yeah.
crawled out from underneath it.
Yeah.
My coworker comes out, he goes, "Are you dead?"
I would be dead because I'm allergic to hay. Um, but
Oh
so you
no.
so you went through that. You were facing a little
Yep.
adversity on injury, which we're going to get into injuries in a little bit. But you were facing a little adversity on injuries, and then in a similar time frame, I think you were like, "I'm going to come back from this," and you were doing well. And then I remember you posting. I don't remember all the details. I'll let you talk about it, but you were down and out one
Mhm.
day and saying something about people keep them out, like say hateful things, whatever. And it was about the war paint because I slid in the DMs and I said, hey, like, fuck
Yeah.
what people say, right? And we said we'll do a podcast, but it was about you like to wear war paint when you compete,
Mhm.
and somebody talks shit about it, right? You want to talk
Yeah.
about what went down there?
Yeah. So another female that I compete with in in the women's open, Jackie Rhodes, she didn't say it, but she shared a hot take that someone else had sent into her. And it was just basically saying that nobody except for Aaron Murray should wear war paint. And I was like, that's pretty fucking stupid. Like,
I
I love
I'm willing
Erin,
to,
don't get me wrong, and she looks sick with the war paint, but she doesn't own it. So,
and I'm willing to bet
anyone can wear
Aaron,
it.
I'm willing to bet Aaron would say that's fucking stupid. Everybody who
Oh
wants to
fuck
wear war
yeah, I
paint
talked to her
should wear war
about
paint.
it. Oh yeah, I talked to her about it, and actually I saw her at the Arnold, and I walked up and I said, "It's on, bitch," and she goes, "Don't let him say shit to you."
Nice. I'm gonna try and get Erin on to hype up PSL. She's doing the PSL show. I'm gonna be emceeing. Hopefully, I can get her on, and I'll ask her
Okay.
this question too. So all right. So Jackie Rhodes, I don't. I think I met Jackie. I think I met her recently. She was
Yeah,
pretty nice to me. But
she
so
won. She won the women's open. Sorry,
at where?
at the Arnold, she won the
Oh
women's
yeah,
open
yep.
at the
So I
Arnold.
remember talking to her. Yes, and
It's good
not
stuff.
about this, but so it was probably
Yeah,
innocent enough. She probably just reposted somebody's hot take. I've done that before. My buddy tagged me in something, and I just watched a
yeah.
few seconds of it, and I was busy, and I kind of like saw it, and I
Hmm.
reposted. But then my wife was like, "Dude, that's messed up," and I watched the end of it, and I'm like, "Oh man, it is messed up," and it was a
Oh crap.
it was kind of like a fat joke. It was like, oh, if you don't take
Hmm.
care of your own body, how are you going to take care of your children or something? And like, dad should be in shape. And yeah, maybe a dad should be physically fit or a cop should be physically fit. But like, if I believe that like you should be able to be physically fit and lift something off your son if it falls
Hmm.
on your son, whatever have you, right? It doesn't mean I
Yeah.
need to post something hateful about it that might hurt some of my friends' feelings because I have friends who don't lift. I have more friends that don't lift than do.
Yeah.
So I totally regretted posting it, and
And
I
being
let
hateful and being
and I
hateful is not going to
apologized.
help.
I
It's
went
not
on
going
my
to change their
story and I
mind.
said, hey, like, if I offended anybody by posting that, I kind of posted it too fast. Um, Sometimes people
Hmm.
don't think when they repost. I don't mean that against Jackie, because like,
No, and well, like I said, it wasn't her that said it. It was just her that
yeah,
like she put up like one of those ask me anything or send me hot takes, well, whatever kind of thing. And
gotcha,
someone sent that in.
yeah,
Yeah, so it's
yeah,
not
and
her,
that's
but whoever sent it, I have a few ideas of who it could be, but
I've been down that rabbit hole before, where like I think somebody was talking shit about me, and I'm like, I think I know who that was, but I can't prove it. Um, which
yeah,
is not a good
that's a good
thing to
one.
do. I've seen some
No.
like when my algorithm's been getting filled with some more like positive stuff, which is a good thing, right? It's not all like Iran war shit.
Hmm.
And like when you let somebody else offend you, you give them power over you. and anybody who offends you,
Hmm.
if they say something to offend you, they're weaker than you. And now obviously, if you truly respect somebody and they say something that offends you, then yeah, maybe you self reflect. But yeah, I could see how that would bother you 100%. Like I said, I don't take a stand here
Yeah.
very often because I kind of don't want the smoke, right? I'm waiting for somebody, dude. I had one negative comment in my lifting career, and it was I had short shorts on and I was curling, and somebody said legs, because my calves look small. And I was like, fuck you, bro. You come to the gym, train legs with me anytime. I can squat 450. Let's go. And like over what? Like the dude who made fun of me, no disrespect, but he's jealous of me. I know him. I went to high school with him. He's jealous of me, accused me
Yeah,
of
of
being
course.
on drugs and stuff. But I let it get to me, and I'm like, I don't want this smoke. Like people who do like the natty or not videos and all this stuff, it's like you're
Yeah,
opening up
no,
the door for the hate, and I don't want it. I can't handle it. I'm waiting for somebody like, Dane, you
no.
talk about your podcast. But I also have gotten a little stronger mentally, where it's weird. Like I will like slide into your DM or Nez if she's having a bad day, whatever, and support my friends like to the death. Like my nephew, if somebody fucks with my nephew, like what I'll go after him,
I'll
right? Let
fuck them
somebody
up.
make fun of me to my face, and
Yeah,
I'm just like, all right, whatever, I don't care. You know what I mean?
it's
Um,
what it is. Their
yeah,
words don't really affect me.
yep. And for somebody to take the time out of their day, Nez said she just blocks him because I asked her, and she's like, no, I just block him now. It used to bother me, I just block him. Or like she'll like post
Yeah,
people on her story, and like I think that's the funniest. When somebody says something real ignorant, put it on the story, and then I'm
screenshot it.
sure
Yeah,
I'm sure the big fans, they just, there's people just waiting, ready to defend Nez. I'm sure you have some female fans ready to just come in and defend you. I'm in
yeah, I
that ilk
do. I
now
got some good
too.
girls.
Yep.
Yeah,
It's
I'm no stranger to the negative comments. I've gotten plenty of them from making comments about me when I peeing when I lift because I'm a female. I've had kids. It's gonna fucking happen when you're lifting crazy weights.
yeah.
Gotten comments about that. I've got comments about my weight. I've gotten comments about looking like a man, lifting like a man. It's I'm used to it.
It's jealousy, right? It's like nobody would like nobody in their right mind would say something like that to your face. So why when they get on a screen they feel like they can give you that unsolicited feedback? It's like it's crazy to
Yeah,
me, right? And not enough people have
and
been punched in the mouth, you know?
99 times out of 100, I'd say it's coming from people that aren't stronger than me. Let's say
Oh,
that.
oh, of course. It's either never or rarely ever anybody who's ahead of you in life or stronger than
Exactly.
you. Any like I'm
They're
actually
in the rear view.
exactly. It's people who want to be where you are and they're jealous of you. And like if you say you're jealous of me, they'll be like, no, I'm not. And it's like they're not worth your time, right?
No,
And I
not at
think
all.
maybe the older we get, the wiser and the stronger, we can kind of just like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like the lion doesn't concern himself with the opinion of sheep, which is a weird analogy because lion and sheep don't live in the same area, but makes sense, don't it? Maybe wolf
It
doesn't.
works.
It works, right? Um, so so yeah, fuck the haters, right?
Fuck them.
Fuck them.
They don't
Um,
pay my bills.
Nope, nope. I was trying to think. I had another example. It's late. It's past my bedtime. When I was
It's all
talking to
good.
Nez, I forget exactly what I said. We talked about the haters and stuff. And I think it was like, oh, I mean, yeah, like again, I did this with Nez. I'll fall on the sword, right? I I
Okay.
wasn't a huge fan of female strong man, strong woman, right? Strong woman, right?
Ooh.
I just like
Okay.
when I did bodybuilding, I would do my show and I would watch the men because I want to see the jack dudes. And then when the girls came on, it's like, sure, I think even like bikini girls attractive. I think Miss Olympia, the jacked, like the muscle and the six pack and the ones who
That's
are
what's
like
up.
bigger biceps than me, I actually think it's attractive in a different way. Like it's hard fucking work, right? And Erica, if you watch
The
this, I love you.
discipline.
I love my wife. She's upstairs first and foremost. But like there is an attraction that I have to physical fitness, right? But I didn't mean I didn't
Mhm.
stick around and watch. I did my show and then I'm like, I'm going to get a burger. I don't want to watch the girls. I
Yeah.
want to watch the dudes.
I'm tired. Let's go.
And it's funny because like again, falling on the sword, right? And I hope I don't catch any hate, but like over time, as I've gotten to know people, I got to know Naz, and it really Nico brought this out of me a little bit because Nico is such a fan of strong women, right? We talked about it on the
Oh
podcast
yeah.
with Kevin Van Alicia. He would post Nez left and right. He probably knew who you were for years now, right? He's a fan,
Hmm.
and he was always so impressed with the woman, and I just didn't see it. And then when I started to get to know some more a little bit, it's recently. I've been watching Nez for 2 years now because I watch the shows.
Hmm.
Um, I honestly, watching the Rogue last year was impressed. Watching her, I don't mean to make this a Nez podcast, but watching her and the women this year, like they were doing awesome stuff and grinding in events where the men were struggling. And I'm not throwing shade at the men, right? Their yoke escalator was heavier, but like they were
Yeah.
dying, and the women are smoking it, and it's impressive. And at the Arnold, you were there, but you were competing. So on
Hmm.
Friday, I don't think you didn't go watch on Friday, right? You were probably getting ready to compete.
No.
So I went and watched, and
No,
like
I watched it on a live stream.
yeah, but the woman honestly got a bigger pop, and like in between events, the fans kind of leave and they come back, and the stadium was like jammed for Lucy's deadlift. Lucy and
Oh
oh, I'm
yeah.
drawing a blank on her name. She lived right near me.
Jennifer.
Jen Lyle. Yep,
Jennifer Live.
yep,
Yeah.
yep. Jennifer Lyle. They were packed. Like it was incredible the energy, and I'm a fan now. Like I've been like converted, especially now that I know you ladies, right? And I got to know you and Destiny. Um,
Hmm.
so it's if people
Yeah,
open
the
their eyes
women are
to it.
crazy.
I have a friend, young kid. I don't think he watches this, so and I'm not going to say his name. I don't do that. But Nez made a post, and I don't know if I told Nez this because she was like 5 days out from the Arnold, and I don't want to mess with anything like psychology, and Nez can handle it. But he was like, oh,
Yeah.
if I did this and that, I could be strong. Like if I took gear, I could be that strong. And I'm like, first of all, bro, and I said this in the podcast, but I'm like, dude, he's young and naive, right? And I don't know him that well, but I'm
Yeah.
trying to take him under my wing, right? And he's a great kid. He really is, but he's young.
Hmm.
And first of all, bro, you are strong. You're very strong. Like, you don't need to compare yourself to anybody, let alone the strongest woman in the world. And I said, dude, do you
No,
realize there's been like right now there's 7 billion people on the planet. So there's probably 3.5 billion women, and there's only a couple that could do what she's doing. There's only a few that can do what you're doing, Morgan, right? And for anybody to
yeah,
throw shade, it's like, who cares what you decide to lift, how you decide to look, what you decide to eat or put in your body? You're doing shit that a very, very finite number in the human history of the world can do, including men.
for sure.
You girls are stronger than 99.9% of men, right? Obviously, I'm not talking about 99% of strong men. We're strong, but
Yeah,
we are a subset, right? This is weird to say, I
correct.
said it to Nico. I am one of the strongest 40-year-old men on the planet right now. And you and Nez and Destiny and Katie, you guys are all stronger than me in a few lifts. It's fucking insane and it's impressive. And for anybody to not be impressed, you don't have to be into it. You might not be into war paint, but to not be
No,
impressed by how you guys are pushing the human limits,
or just
that's
appreciate it.
appreciate it. It's naive, especially
Yeah.
if you're a young up and coming dude who's like squat, bench, deadlift, and big weights and wants to get into strongman. You should appreciate all aspects of the sport and support
Absolutely.
all aspects of the sport because we're all in this together.
I'm huge
Um,
on that. Like, I love supporting the weight class people, and I also love supporting the open men as well. And I've actually kind of said something in the back at the Arnold about that, about how it kind of feels like sometimes, I'm not saying all of them because that's not fair, but it kind of seems like a lot of the open men don't really give a shit about the open women. But I bet you a lot of us women know what's going on in the open men scene completely. Like, I could tell you all the guys doing, not all of them, but I can tell you majority of the men doing the World's Strongest Man roster, at the Rogue, all of them. I pay attention to that stuff because
yeah,
that's our NFL Super Bowl, so to speak. So
yeah.
it just doesn't feel like it's reciprocated back from the men to the women sometimes, and that's really frustrating. Hopefully it changes. I know there are some men who really do give a shit about us, so I really appreciate those guys. So
I feel like I haven't followed that type of stuff too closely, right? Especially because
mm,
we tend to stick somewhat, I think, close to what we're into. Like I tend to
oh
watch
yeah.
more weight class strongman. I'm a fan of
Mhm.
heavyweights. There's more heavyweights on YouTube and live streams, but we tend to be in our own little bubble, and it's a very selfish sport, right? I care about what
Mhm.
I do. I like to watch my own training, and then I want to watch the guys we're going against. So it's hard to focus on everybody. We only have so much mental bandwidth. I do feel like it's probably gotten better in the past few years,
Yeah.
right? There's been more awareness.
See, it's
I mean,
crazy. It's crazy. So I've always obviously known what's going on in the open women's, but I have to say the next class that I paid the most attention to is the 64s. Those girls are insane. Like, absolutely insane. And there's
They,
so many of them that are like right at each other's tails. And it's
oh
just
yeah,
back and forth constantly. Don't get me wrong, the 72s and the 80 or 73s and the 82s are impressive as well. And I guess the 57s as well. That's kind of a newer one. But the 64s, I love watching those
I
girls.
think
They're
I've
crazy.
I've been more of a fan because I've emceed a couple events and I've watched some live events locally, and there's some good 64s down in Connecticut, some up here.
Hmm.
Um, I think 64 is probably the pound for pound most impressive.
Strongest. Yes.
Obviously, you're talking mix of athleticism and like because they're small and mighty. And like oftentimes I talk to Meg about it, and she's a 73. The weights are too light, and they're blitzing these runs, and they're
Hmm.
separated by zero point 0.2 seconds. I think 5 people at
Yeah.
OSG were separated by half a second. That means you need to up the weight. You can't treat them like little girls.
Yeah.
Um,
She used to
but
be a 63 or 64. Yeah. She used to be a
yeah,
64. And so I remember watching her. I remember watching Rhiannon Lovelace when she went through her period of just domination.
I think a
Um,
5-time bodyweight deadlift or something like that.
yeah,
Like
crazy.
yeah, she's insane.
Insane. Very insane. But there's a lot of them. I'm drawing blanks right now, but I want to say I think I don't know if Hannah Cold Iron ever was 64. I know she was a 73. She just did 82. I want to say she was a 64 as well. She's insane. I think a lot of them started at 64s and have slowly crept up, as they get
Yeah.
even more muscular, put more mass on.
Yep.
But
Because they
there's a
probably
ton
play
of
the
them.
same game a lot of weight class people play, right? And it's weird to talk about
Yeah.
women and weight, but like you start doing strongman, probably don't have a ton of muscle on you unless you're a big girl, right? And then
Yep.
they probably cut down to a weight class to be more competitive, make it to a higher level. But then as you keep
Yep.
training, and
You
especially
got
they
it.
probably embrace the growth and the food and actually eating to fuel the lifts. And guess what happens? You're gonna put muscle on, right? And then you're competing at
Absolutely.
heavier weight classes, and then someday you're in the open, you take the plunge. Um,
All of a sudden, I'm with the big girls.
yeah. Well, and then one thing that's actually a really good thing is like I don't know if the Rogue was the first to do it, but the prize money for the women is the same as it is for the men. So at least the organizations are treating
I
you
love
like
that.
equals. I hope they are
Yeah.
backstage and all that stuff. But like when I look, you know, I I don't think I'm saying anything crazy here if I say Mitchell Hooper and Tom Stoltman and Evan Singleton have a bigger following than Inez and AJ and Olga, right? But doesn't
No,
change the fact
it's
that they're
true.
all
Yeah.
they're all the best in the world at what they do. Obviously, when it comes to dollars, as far as advertising and sponsorships, if somebody has 1 million followers and they're going to sell more pairs of sneakers, you're going to give it to them. But at least
Yeah.
the orgs are giving the same amount of prize money. That's a huge step in the right direction because it allows some women to do
Huge.
this full time, which is unheard of unless you have your own revenue stream like coaching or you know
I only know of one, and Inez, but she also trains as well. So it's not like she's not doing anything. And so I don't know any women that do it like full on, like
yeah.
as a
It's
paid
yeah,
thing.
we gotta pay the bills. So unless you have like
Exactly.
if you got like maybe a super supportive husband who takes 2 jobs, because like nobody in America can afford to live on one income. So like
Not
you're a
really.
mother,
No.
you have 2 kids, right? You said
Yep. I have
mother
a,
of
a
two,
son and
full
a
time
daughter. Yep.
job, getting crushed
Yep.
by hay bales and still going to work and showing up to the Arnold. Let's talk about
I got you.
yeah, let's talk because one of the reasons we want to jump on this one too. Um, and hopefully some of these conversations help people out there going through whatever other people go through. You went through the injury leading up to the show, and you were still looking pretty damn good. I think if things went your way, we're looking at I would say at least hopefully a podium finisher here.
Oh yeah.
So you got through the injury, showed up to the show, ready to go, right? Ready to kick ass.
Hmm. I
And
say this with no, I don't mean this in a cocky way, but in a confident way. I absolutely would have been on the podium, no doubt in my mind.
oh yeah, right. And
And
you were last year, so like
yeah,
I don't think it's cocky
yeah.
to say that. I said it on the pod with DJ
No,
Doggett 2 days ago, and I said it with Nico yesterday. If you're the champ, you're the champ until somebody knocks you down, right? And the champ deserves the respect of a
correct.
returning champion. Now you weren't the champ, but you came in second, so you deserve that respect until somebody comes up and
Yep,
knocks you off your second place finish. If you skip a year, okay, you're not in second anymore, but you were the defending second place, and that means the winner, which
absolutely.
was what's her name again?
Katie.
Katie,
Oh, Jackie Rhodes
Jackie,
or
Jackie,
Katie
Jackie
Blunden?
Olszewski, right? Jackie won the Arnold last year, right? No, Jackie came in
No,
third. Katie won it. Katie won it. That's right. Here I am.
no, Jackie came in sixth at the Arnold Pro Am. Um,
She got third at
Jackie, so
OSG, right?
second at OSG, I think. Yep.
Okay.
That's how
Okay.
she got her invite, was second at OSG. I didn't know OSG was a qualifier for the Arnold main stage. That would have been a huge, nice piece of information to know.
Yeah, you might have
Because
done
I
it, right?
didn't go last year.
I feel like
Correct. Yeah.
nobody.
I've done it once.
I feel sadly like uh, there's not a lot of stuff in writing, and they kind of like a
No.
lot of orgs maybe just say, "Oh, hey, this person did good, and oh, maybe they're marketable, or let's just throw them in." And it's like, no, maybe orgs should stick to it and say, "Hey, if you podium OSG, we'll invite you to the Arnold." But some orgs
Yeah.
don't communicate. I'm not saying the name, not
No.
saying the name,
Yeah.
people.
No. I
People
get it.
think I'm a
Yeah.
PSL
No.
dick rider. You know, I'll say this about
It'd
PSL.
be nice.
PSL has guaranteed pathways. They have a ranking system, right? If you're in the top 15 of their ranking system, you are invited to the championship. They have qualifiers. They had 3 this year. If you make the podium, you are invited to their championship. And if Tyler doesn't say, "Oh, you're not invited anymore," you make it.
Hmm.
You're invited. Doesn't matter if
That's
you come
awesome.
dead last at the championship, right? So the org stands by their word. And I'm not turning this into a PSL Dick Rider podcast, but you got second place last year, but Katie
Yep.
Blunden should have known this, my fucking teammate, right? Um,
You're
shows how much I got to get to know you guys. Katie won it, right?
good.
But guess what that
Yep.
means?
It was
Katie's not at the
his
Arnold
dog
this
fight.
year. Katie's on the main stage. So guess what? You were the
Yeah.
girl to beat. If you were in second, now you're the girl to beat. So there's no shade to say you think you would have been on the podium. So
No.
we get there, right? We got our assistant coaches are all back warming up. Um, Deadlifts. Let's talk about how your deadlifts went.
Okay, so my last deadlift before comp went really well. I pulled 590 and it was relative. I mean, obviously it's getting up there to the 8 or 9 RPE, but it felt relatively good. And I was pretty confident that, on my third, because the Arnold had kind of bigger jumps, I'd say 25 to 30 pounds jumps. I was confident that my third would end up around the 625 mark. And so I pulled 555, I think, on my first. That was easy. And then I went out. The thing that screwed me up the most is us not being able to pull at 13 inches much in the back at all. And then not only that, but the bar I use at home is a smooth axle, and this one was it had like the texture on it. And
Uh,
so I was using my briefs, and so when I went to go to pull them up, it started to catch on my briefs,
oh
and
yeah,
I noticed a lot of resistance. I should have baby powdered up before I went out. That was a rookie mistake of mine. But
yeah. Because
my
any
second
with
at
that kind of weight,
595,
any
yeah, you
friction,
need that.
it's pounds. It's
Yeah,
adding
slows you down
pounds.
big time.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
and
for those
I
of you who
could go
don't know,
back and look
sorry,
at my video, and
sorry. For those of you who don't know, this is an axle.
you're
It
good.
was a 13-inch axle, so it's not like a
Yes.
barbell, right? So she was deadlifting an axle. All right, sorry, continue.
Yep, you're good. So I actually look back at my second, and you can see where the axle hits my briefs and then pulls the brief fabric up with it. So I had to come over top of the fabric as it was pulling it up.
Oh
And
geez.
so that took it a lot out of me. And I felt my hamstring start to kind of that little niggle, like of something, the alarms are going off a little bit, nothing crazy, but just like, hey, something doesn't feel right. And so I went back to the back and I was like, "Man, do I, Nico's over with the pro girls, like, or the main stage girls. I was like, do I pull my third? I'm like, it's the Arnold. Like you gotta put it all out there. You don't just come there to just give it your
Yep.
80%. You go to give it
You
your
you got
all.
the second, right? They you did get the
Yeah.
down command
Yep.
or no?
I did. Yep.
And
I
then
did. So I got 595 on the second.
595, and then the next jump was 625 because you had 20 pounds,
Yeah.
20 pounds, right?
625. Yep.
625, and then the last jump was 645. So if you
Yes.
stopped there, you would have tied for third by virtue of
Yep.
first. We don't know this in real
Tied for
time, but
second. Or
for
no,
second,
yeah. For
I just
595, tied
assumed
for
third.
third. Yeah.
I assumed third. I didn't look at the scores because I know
Yep.
from I was there. Destiny got 645, tied for first, and then
Yep.
I'm sure somebody hit 625,
I
and
think there
then
was like one or two that got 625, and there's quite a few of us at 595, but then the rest were all below that.
yeah.
I
So
think
you
Yeah,
probably wanted to get those points like that. There's that's probably going
exactly.
through your mind because like 595, maybe you stop and may be
Mhm.
healthier for the rest of the show because you did go out for the third, right? If I remember right.
Yeah, I did. I went out for the third, and as soon as I broke the floor with it, I got it maybe an inch off the floor, not much. And I just felt like the best way I could explain it was it felt like Velcro. Like I could just feel something snap. Like
In
it
your
just did
leg.
not it in my leg, yeah, in the back of my ham, like in my hamstring, like in the
So
meaty part of it.
whatever it
I was
was
like,
got
ooh.
worse on the third attempt.
Yes, absolutely. So
All
then
right.
they see me if you go back and watch the live stream, you can see me like hold on to the big wagon wheel, and I like start limping
I
off
remember that you
the
kind of hopped off, yeah, to the curtain. Yep,
yeah,
that was good
hopped
play.
off, and I was kind of like hobbling around in the back, and I was just like, I have very much have the mindset that like I don't necessarily listen to my body when I should at times. And I just said, it's the fucking Arnold. I'm just gonna suck it up and keep going. So I went over to my backpack and I got my shorts out and different shoes to go press, my lifters. And I was walking to the bathroom and I needed two girls just to get my shorts on my pants on and off and then my shorts on because I could not stand on my own legs. And I was like, I don't know how that's gonna work, with overhead.
Yeah,
And then we got frame, and then we've got the arm over arm. Like every event is gonna
you
tax my legs. There's no way around it,
you need a healthy hamstring, like
Exactly.
especially at that
And this is
level,
before
like
I knew I
with those
tore it.
heavy weights.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And this is before I knew I tore it. So we ended up, I don't know how it came about, but I ended up going and getting worked on by Ray in the back. And
I asked him. Remember, we were sitting
yeah,
down, and I said, "Hey,
yeah,
are you doing physio still, or is it just like tape and stuff?
yes.
can you check an injury?" He's like, "Yeah, absolutely. My girls are here." It's like, "Bring it over." So we got you over there.
Yep. And so we started looking at it, and I remember he just said, I don't recommend that you keep going. There's definitely a tear. And so I looked at Nico, and he looked at Ray, and he goes, I'm gonna pull her. And I remember Nico, I love this. I'll never forget this. He grabbed me like father would with their child, and he just covered my head and just let me, lose myself for a second and just cry and just let it all out because he
Yeah,
knew how much I'd been through beforehand to get there, and he knew how much this meant to me to get to the main stage. And
of
he just
course.
knew that he felt the loss just as much probably as me, and so that was one of the best moments ever, because I just met Nico this weekend or at the Arnold for the first time. I mean officially, like I think I'd seen him at other meets but never really talked to him, and
Mhm.
so this was our first official meet. And so for him to read that I needed that in that moment was huge because I didn't, obviously I didn't ask for it, and he knew what to do, and I love that. So thank
Yeah,
you, Nico.
he's very good at reading a room and knowing his athletes, and
He
he's an
really is.
athlete himself. And when you listen to the pod, when I talked to him, we talked about his injuries and being
Mhm.
there and the FOMO of OSG and stuff, and like not being able to
Yeah.
perform.
And
It's devastating.
I'll go above and beyond. I'll say there's some he even went above and beyond that as well. So my last coach before Nico, so I've only had two coaches in strongman. I've had Nico, and then before that I had Travis Ortmeyer for about 3 years. And leaving Travis was a really difficult decision, but it came down to I just needed a new set of eyes and just kind of a new I don't know, I guess attack of things. I guess I'm not sure the right word. I just needed something new. And so,
Yep.
Nico had
You were with
Nico
Travis
and I
for a
had
long
been
time.
talking.
There's nothing wrong with that, but it is hard because I know that you
No.
and Travis are still cool because I saw you talking with Travis and he's a friend,
Yep.
right? And that's great. And
And
I
so
think
yeah, so
most
that's
coaches want their athletes to grow and you know,
absolutely. At first, he handled when I left, Travis handled it really well. He was obviously disappointed because I mean, he loved having me as an athlete and I loved having him as a coach. It's a good relationship. But he goes, it wouldn't hurt to have a fresh set of eyes. And I thought that was huge. But back to what I was saying, Nico walked away and he went and got Travis for me and had Travis come back and talk to me as well. And so I had my two favorite guys outside of my husband, sorry Tim, but I had my two favorite men there to talk to me and just like helped me get through the emotional and mental aspect of what I was dealing with right there. Because I get it, a lot of people that don't compete at this level, they don't quite understand. It is a hobby, but when you put so much time and effort and energy into something, like it is devastating to have to pull out like that. You
Yeah.
know, and I ended up sticking around and I cheered the girls on during the arm over arm.
Of course you did.
And I was there to root them on because, those are my girls. They're family to me, a lot of them. Well, they go through the same struggles that I do, just maybe different ways. And
Yep.
so I can relate to them a lot. And a lot of them have cheered me on. So it made absolute sense to stay and cheer them on. Obviously, I didn't
Yeah.
come back the next day because I didn't want to hobble around all weekend. But
Nobody wants
I
to
was
hobble
watching them
around
on the
that
live
young LA
stream.
crowd.
That's the worst. I wish we had a different
For
location.
those of you that don't know, we were next to the Young LA booth, and I went to the Arnold 3 years ago, but I didn't know like all the broccoli heads are there, no shade, but that booth was it was like a nightclub, and the line there had to be 30,000 people
Dude,
right next to us, and they were just in the way. I wouldn't want to.
you
I
just
mean,
should have
you
been
had
there.
to walk past them to get over to your area.
Yeah. So
Um,
last year they had more lifting going on in their booth last year. And so all you could hear is over the announcements, another one, another one, and like the consistent, like, yes, get one more, like the reps. And like after like 50 another ones, you're like, okay, is this person still like going? The same person? Like, what's going on? It
uh,
was crazy. But at least this
yep.
time, I felt like this time it wasn't as like bad, like the noise part of it, but the lights kind of get to you too. I noticed when you're out on the platform, you have
Oh, I'm
those
sure.
disco lights kind of going off on you.
There's a lot. There's a lot going on, man. It's a shit show. I mean, the prestige of it being at
It
the
is a shit
Arnold is
show.
awesome, right? But like that crowd was a nightmare. Like I would rather just have the same competitors, so the same level of competition, but like maybe in
Hmm.
its own like high school gymnasium. You know what I mean? But that's
So
what the
I
draw is.
actually
It's the
made
Arnold,
that.
the main stage and stuff.
Yeah.
Were you on? Did they put you guys on the main stage last year when you got second? Because I don't know if they do that every year, do they?
Yeah. Yeah. We were on the expo stage and the rogue stage. I think there's two different stages. We ended up we did our main events on day one, where by Young LA or whatever it's called, and then we moved over to the expo stage. I think I don't know. There was three stages the year I went. We did Axel at this other stage, and then we moved over where the firefighters were, where they did day
Right.
two this year, and that's where we did our takeover bar last year. And
I
so
think they consider this like the expo main stage because there was talk of it going over to the
okay,
Rogue. But regardless, what was cool is there was a big crowd, a lot of chairs in the
yeah.
crowd. Like it threw Destiny off. She like when she actually had to face the crowd for
Mhm.
the axle. She's not good in front of crowds. When she was fine when she did the loading, she
Okay.
had to look at the crowd. But what was cool is I was out
Mhm.
there helping, and it's like, damn, like I want to be here. Like I want to compete at this show just to be on that stage on day two if I could make it.
Yeah,
Right, got to try. So
it's
like
cool.
that's what you were going for. So to have that, not it wasn't taken away from you, right? The injury happened to you. It
To
wasn't
me.
done to
Yeah.
you. But like I completely understand, and it's hard um, knowing that it's the right call. You seem in great spirits about it. I mean, in the moment, obviously, you're gonna tear
Oh, it
up and
was rough.
that because like
It was rough the first night. Like I sat there and I told myself, like, I started thinking like all the shit that happened to me during prep. I'm like, maybe those were signs that I shouldn't have even fucking gone.
yeah, and
Like, one thing after another. I'm like, man, were those signs I shouldn't have even showed up? But yeah, at the end of the day, I give myself mad props for showing up because of all the shit that I went through, and like the fact of that, like I maybe hit 40 to 50% of my sessions through that whole prep.
yeah.
And I was still in a good spot to, wreck house pretty much. So
And
I was proud of myself.
just like I talked to Nico about when Nico he tore his tricep 2 weeks out from OSG and he said, "Fucking, I'm gonna go anyways. I paid for it. I'll go hang out."
Yeah,
Like being there,
exactly.
you stayed around and watched. Like it probably lit the fire. They probably like I gotta heal this thing and I gotta get back here because I want to win this fucking show. And you're absolutely
Yeah,
capable of winning that show. Um, so
absolutely.
and in that moment,
Yeah,
like
I watched the live stream on day two, and I got to see all the girls, and I was like, yeah, I really like, not no shade, but I was like, I would have done really well, knowing what
oh,
I
you I
can
mean
do.
you already proved with the second
Yeah.
place and that you're a champion and second place that you belong. You were
Yep.
your trajectory was that of winning it. Obviously, can't take nothing away from Jackie Rhodes if she's the one who won
No.
this year, but your
I knew
trajectory was such that you were
she was
in the
gonna.
top.
I knew. Yeah, I knew with Jackie, like whether injured or not, like she was gonna give me my run for my money. Like Jackie has really, um, she's just gotten really sharp the last like year, I'd say. She's really working on her weaknesses. I know one of hers was like loading, and to see her load the 275 sandbag in the finals was pretty sick. I was
Yeah,
proud of her for that. That was awesome.
that's great. That's great.
I
Yeah,
love
and
sandbags.
like so like yeah, it's sitting there in that moment because Hunter and I had just met you, right? And I've DM'd with you and stuff, so I probably knew you a little better than Hunter because like Hunter's a powerlifting coach. He's like, hey, what do I do? I'm like, dude, just like
Yeah,
I'll handle as much as I can. You just need to be there for her. Dude, if she needs you to go get an ice pack, she needs you to fucking get some chalk, find a plate to get her warm ups. Like just hang out by her side and
he did
whatever she
so
needs.
good.
Same with Bo, right? Because I never met Bo. We had to call an audible on the deadlift, which because the way Nico had it, like the way the flights were going, there's no way we were going to be able to go back and forth between women and men. Now, if everybody's standing right there, it was too
No.
crowded. So Hunter took the two ladies, I took the two men. Um, but then by the time the men finished before, I think the men finished before your last attempt. So I was over there with you guys too and with Destiny. But so hopefully you were happy with Hunter. How was Hunter a good coach? Did he do good? Because he was nervous.
Oh yeah.
Good taking care of you.
Oh my God. Yes, I loved Hunter. I loved him. Like literally, that guy is the best. And I'm not just saying that because he's on the team or whatever. I feel like I need to say that. Like I love that guy. I remember I was texting him. I was like, "How far out are we?" Because they were, they do the weight classes before us. I was like, "How far out are we? Am I still good? Like I'm leaving the hotel now. It's about a 25-minute drive. Am I still gonna be fine?" He goes, "You're good. I got you a chair." And he
Yep.
goes, what do you need from me today? He goes, you want me to wear the war paint? Bring some. I'll slap it on. I was
Oh
like,
yeah.
yes, I need
He
that.
It's funny. We
I
we
need that
got there
energy. I love it.
we got there early enough to get some chairs, and we put them in the corner. And I said, "All right, put our shit here." And I said, "Dude, if you get up, put our shit on top of the chairs because somebody will take them, right? Strong man."
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
he just sat in the chair. I'm like, "Dude, are you bored? You want to come hang out? Like, come walk around." He's like, "No, man. I'm making sure nobody takes these chairs." And I'm like, "Okay, dude." He took that job serious. So Hunter,
He's for real.
if you listen to this, bro, I think Morgan's favorite people are her husband, Travis and Nico, and then Hunter. Right? We got maybe he's on the list.
Yes,
Awesome.
absolutely. Hunter is definitely top five for sure.
All right, and
I loved it with his. He had his little backpack on all weekend. He was just fucking prepared. Like
yeah,
this dude meant business. He's like, I don't know a shit about the sport, but I'm here for it.
I think you said the word bitch mitts. You're like, yeah, I'll take some ice packs, my bitch mitts. So we made a special trip. We had to get a cooler, so
Yes.
we bought a cooler bag. We bought a bunch of ice packs, which did come in handy. He's like, I'm gonna get a first aid kit, and I'm like, dude, like they have medics. Like we don't need. He's like, oh, you never know. It's like $20, right? We ended up not needing it. And like I think I bought it. He paid me back half. And I'm like, all right, we're prepared, I guess, because like I don't even think I flew home with it. I said, dude, you keep this. But we got a bunch of stuff. I bought a medical tape. It's always good to have tape for like stones or whatever, but some ibuprofen and shit. But he was prepared.
Absolutely.
He took the job serious. He understood the assignment.
He was.
Yep. He was hoping
He
somebody
did.
he wanted to call himself a
He
world
showed
champion.
up and showed out.
Yeah. Um,
I know. I was so sad. I was like, I'm so sorry, man. I'm sorry. I ruined it for you.
yep. Yep. Because out of the four, I mean,
But
I love the boys and
he'll be there
Destiny,
next
but
time.
out of the four, I think you had the best chance. And with track record, you were there. And the other guys, I don't know if they did the Arnold
Yeah.
before, but everybody did well. I have no doubt you would have done well. Um, Injuries suck. If if you didn't do that third deadlift, do you think you might have been able to get through the show? You ever think about that?
Honestly, I thought about that. I thought about that quite a bit. And I think that, yeah, I think had I not pulled that third one and maybe, went off after that second deadlift, went off and sat for a second, maybe got some ice on it, maybe taped it up, I think I could have hammered it through. The big question would have been, how it would have handled day two events. Not so much the axle, but the loading and the power stairs. I think that could have aggravated it more. But like I told someone the other day,
Especially with the duck walk
if
too.
I
Ugh.
would have gotten injured, yeah, like if I would have gotten injured on day two with one event left, I would have just sucked that shit up and done it. But the
Yeah.
fact I had six more events, like that's a lot to expect out of your body, and to not and not only that, like what I had was like a grade 1 or grade 2 tear. It wasn't like full tear. And it was in the muscle belly, so in a good spot,
Yeah,
like really
not the
deep in
ligament.
my hamstring, not the ligament. So that was nice. But um, had I kept going, I could have made it even worse to the point where I maybe needed surgery, or it took me out even longer throughout the year. And I
Those
mean, the
those can
Arnold was
linger, right?
probably one of the yeah, the Arnold was probably one of the biggest shows I was planned to do this year, but I still have a lot of other shows that I want to do that are just as important to me or can lead to other things. Like, OSG still later this year. There's still America's Strongest Woman. There's still North America's Strongest Woman. There's, just a lot of different opportunities still left. And I didn't
Yeah,
want to take myself out for the whole year.
and I think you said in the group chat you're coming along pretty well, so that's good.
Yeah,
And you know, hindsight's always 2020, right? And I think you
absolutely.
agree. I think most people will agree it didn't work out, but you probably made the right call going for the third attempts because you want to get those points. You're
Yeah.
there to win, and you know you're capable of the points. It just unfortunately got
Yep.
a little worse, but maybe that was enough to say,
Yep.
all right, I do need to shut it down. Which you probably, if Nico didn't tell you to, you probably would have persevered, and you might have heard it more on the first log. Maybe not the circus dumbbell, but
Oh,
maybe
for sure.
the first log, right? And then who knows? God
I
forbid you heard it while the
absolutely
log's
would have
above
kept,
you,
I
right?
absolutely would have kept going.
Yeah. So
I
so
know.
everything happens for a
I thought
reason,
about
right?
that, Granted, I did make it. It did, and I will say this, I'm happy Nico pulled me. I totally trust his decision, and I don't question him at all when it comes
And
to things
yeah,
like that,
what the hell am
especially.
I
Like,
talking?
I know he made the right choice.
You're right. Shout out to Nico. Great job. And you're definitely like back already. You squatted 415 for six yesterday. Like what the hell? Like you're already coming back. You're ready to
Yeah.
go. You
I'm
know?
back fast as fuck.
You got any
They
idea
said
what's
they said 3 to
next?
6 months. So my next show is actually a powerlifting meet, and I'm gonna be back in my gear, my squat suit, bench shirt, all that good stuff. And I plan on hitting somewhere between 17 and 1800 total.
1700 to 1800.
Yes.
Sweet
Yeah.
jeez.
I'm looking at a 7 to 750 squat, about a 450 to 5 bench, and then a 550 plus deadlift as well.
Damn. That's awesome. And then that just come out of that healthy and see what's next in
Yep.
strongman, where we got to do all our damage in strongman.
Oh yeah,
Um,
I got my next planned show for that is August 1st, or not August 1st, September 19th, and is Static Monsters Worlds in Arizona. And I love Static Monsters. It kind of went down in publicity, not publicity, in attendance, I guess, and athlete attendance. It went down a little bit this year, but in the past, there's been some big names that have gone through it. Mitchell
oh
Hooper
yeah.
got his Worlds invite through Static Monsters. Yeah. In
Yeah.
2020, he did Static Monsters. I mean, granted, it was during the COVID pandemic, whatever, so
Yep.
there wasn't a lot of in-person comps, but he did Static Monsters and he got his world invites because of it.
Every little
Not
thing you do is just a feather in the cap in the resume, right? And you put it on the
absolutely.
Instagram, you put in the bio, people talk about you, and like it's like, oh, she did this and this and this, and like one static monster's like, yeah, let's give her a shot over somebody
Yeah,
else, right? So you just keep building that resume,
add it.
get that Arnold win
Yeah.
next year. So it's funny. I almost lapsed because there was an Instagram question. I don't get a lot of Instagram questions, but we got one, right?
Mhm.
Probably one of your followers came over.
Sweet.
Um, and at the powerlifting meet, it probably has something to do with this. Let me go back for a second and see who asked. Timmy the Turkey asked a question.
Yes.
I'm gonna put you on. Say, here we go. Timmy the Turkey asked a question. Why is Relentless her favorite meet to do?
Oh, that's a good question. So Relentless is the meet that I'm doing in August
I
1st,
figured
and
as much.
it's my favorite because it is such a good cause. So Relentless is a powerlifting meet that we raise funds for not a charity, an organization called Hope Kids, and it helps children that are dealing with life threatening illnesses or conditions, and it can be anyone from the ages of like a newborn up to 18, and we help their families with a lot of different things. We put on events throughout the year for the kids that are affected by their illnesses or conditions and their family members, because a lot of times, like let's be real, like, I hate saying this, but like a kid has cancer or something, some of the other siblings kind of get forgotten. It happens naturally. The
Yeah,
parents don't mean to, but they're so busy with their medically fragile child that
of
they kind of
course.
forget the other kids. It's just natural. I would never make any parent feel bad about that, but it happens. And so I think Hope Kids is really great because it includes all the whole family unit, and they do a lot of cool events. And my we in the years past, we've raised upwards of $250,000, for this
Incredible.
organization. Yeah,
That's awesome. Um,
I love it.
shoot me if
And the
there's a
kids are
link.
there.
If there's a link or anything, shoot me that. I'll put it in the
Yep.
description on the YouTube and when I do the post and everything. But I
Yes.
I love it, and I love to try and get involved with philanthropy when I can. So this will be
Yep.
the first official Dane Talks podcast donation to a
Yes.
not charitable event, but I'll donate. I'll pledge $100 to you when
Sweet.
you compete. So let me know how I can do that
Yeah.
when the day
Yep.
comes, and I'll pledge hundred
I need to
dollars.
sign up. I gotta sign up first because the cool thing is they don't charge us as athletes to compete. There's just a minimum where they want you to try to raise. So the minimum is $500 to raise. That's really not
Well,
that
you
terribly
got you.
hard.
Morgan Irons has 100 from the Dane Talks podcast. Yeah,
Yes.
I'll
My
try.
first contributor.
Hey,
Thank you.
I pay a little
It
bit for my
helps.
Zoom membership. I'm trying to start using features on Zoom. I've got a software thing I pay like $15 a month. I was thinking about like they were asking for sponsors for Dan Benson's world record deadlift attempt. I'm like, maybe I'll throw
Mhm.
them $50. I don't know, but build
I
some
love giving
camaraderie.
money when I can to like different things. I have no problem.
It
Like
feels
if
good. I don't
especially
have
if I know
kids.
people,
Yeah.
like if I see someone I know and I'm like, and they have like there's a strong man up in Canada, Josh Cloherty, who's going through cancer right now, treatment,
Wow.
and his wife Bailey competes with me in the open, also as an 82, and they had a GoFundMe put up by some friends, and that's a hell yes. I'm always gonna donate to that. They're good people, and they've got a little girl, and just good people.
Yeah.
That's a no-brainer. Absolutely, take my
every
money.
every little bit helps, and I always say,
It
like, I've
does.
I've posted a lot of philanthropic stuff that I've asked my followers to donate, and a lot of the times they come through. It's really,
Yeah.
I'm tearing up thinking about it because a lot of my friends on Instagram are like real friends, not just a following that have donated. We've raised a
Yeah.
lot of money for different causes, but I always try to
Hmm.
be the lead donator, right? I would never ask money for somebody for something if I wasn't going to donate myself, right? But
Oh,
it does. It
exactly.
feels
Like
it
every
feels good.
year. Yeah, every year when I do my relentless campaign, to or organize, I always make sure I'm the first to donate to my page, and to set the precedent that like I would never expect someone else to not buy in, but to donate to something that I don't feel is a worthy cause. So obviously I'm going to donate first, and hopefully people follow suit.
Yep. And yeah, I can speak to that because in the gWo chat you offered to help cover Hunter and my coaches passes, which
Yeah.
I was more than happy to pay. I had the time of my life out there. I was more than happy to pay for mine. I know it's expensive and a lot of you guys have kids and families and stuff, and I don't, so I'm in a place where I didn't need it, but I greatly appreciated it. It speaks to your character.
Yeah,
Morgan, it
no
was a great
problem. Thank you.
conversation. It's been around an hour. I think we can call it
Yeah,
there. Love to have you back on someday, especially as you get closer to another show or something. Um,
absolutely.
do you have any like sponsors or anything you want to shout out, anything like that? Or
Yeah, I use official Iron Ape gear, and they have sponsored quite a few shows. They're actually pretty sure they're a sponsor for PSL 82s. I want to
nice.
say coming up soon.
If so, I'll
Yeah,
see him
I'd have
there.
to look. Yeah, good guy. Colton Cross is the one who owns that company. He's
Yep.
a local to me. I'm in Iowa. He's also in Iowa as well, not very far away. Good guy. He's been to a lot of our local shows, and just a company that I would like to back. Good,
Awesome.
good,
If
good family.
if
So
they're that's great. And if they are involved in PSL, I'll be probably either reaching out or getting some kind of a bio or something because I'm going to be on the
yeah.
microphone, and I always like to sponsor, shout out the sponsors and the volunteers and the athletes and all of that. So
Ooh,
um,
they're sponsoring USS Nationals as well,
awesome. That's in Iowa,
because
right?
they.
Yep.
Yep, because it's an Iowa. Yep, yep.
Awesome.
So they'll be there as well. So
Sounds like a great company. If they're supporting the sport, that's huge because we
they
need
are.
it.
We do for sure.
All right, Morgan, excited to see what's next for you. Heal up that hamstring. Keep squatting heavy, pressing heavy, And
Sounds good.
we'll talk again soon. Thank you for coming on.
All right. Thank you for having me.
Morgan Irons, ladies and gentlemen.